Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rizka Octavia Damanik. In this video, I will explain a little about types and functions of educational research. First, we will talk about what is educational research. So, educational research is a type of systematic inquiry that applies empirical methods to solve challenges in education. It adopts a rigorous and well-defined scientific process to collect and analyze data for problem solving and knowledge advancement. So, what is the purpose of educational research? The primary purpose of educational research is to expand the existing body of knowledge by providing solutions to different problems in pedagogy while improving teaching and learning practices. Educational researchers also seek answers to questions bordering on learner motivation, development, and classroom management. There are three types of educational research. The first one is correlational research, and then experimental research, and the last one descriptive research. What is correlational research? This is a type of educational research that seeks insight into the statistical relationship between two research variables. In this research, in correlational research, the researchers studies two variables intending to establish a connection between them. Correlational research can be positive, negative, or non-existent. There are some examples of correlational research. The first one is research to discover the relationship between students' behavior and classroom performance. And the second one is a study into the relationship between students' social skills and their learning behaviors. More about correlational research. So, correlational research refers to a non-experimental research method which studies the relationship between two variables with the help of statistical analysis. So, correlational research is the part of quantitative research method. So, correlational research doesn't study the effects of extraneous variables on the variables under study. In terms of market research, a correlational study is generally used to study quantitative data. Okay, for example, is the market variables such as advertisement, discounts, as well as discounts on products. And then there is correlation coefficient that is used to measure the strength of the relationship between two variables. It is a statistical measure also. There are several types of correlation coefficients, the most popular being Pearson's correlation coefficient. A correlation coefficient range from -1, -1 to +1. A correlation coefficient of +1 indicates a perfect positive correlation, whereas correlation coefficient of -1 indicates a perfect negative correlation between two variables. So that's the correlation coefficients that used to measure the strength of the relationship between two variables in the research. What about experimental research? So, experimental research is a research approach that seeks to establish the causal relationship between two variables in the research environment. It adopts quantitative research methods in order to determine the cause and effect in terms of the research variables being studied. There are the examples of experimental educational research. The first one, a study to determine the best teaching and learning methods in a school, or a study to understand how extracurricular activities affect the learning process. So, experimental study or research, it deals with what will be when all conditions are carefully controlled. In an experimental study, two situations which are alike in every respect are considered. The result of this operation is studied. The group on which the experiment is done is called the experimental group. So these are the various steps in a simple experimental research. The first control group is pretest, and the experimental group also pretest. The control group no treatment. The experimental group is application of the experimental factor. That's the difference. And when the control group is post-test, and the experimental group also post-test. And then there is descriptive research. So in this type of educational research, the researcher merely seeks to collect data with regards to the status quo or present situation of things. The core of this research lies in defining the state and characteristics of the research subject being understudied. Typically, descriptive educational research is the first step in solving a specific problem. Here are a few examples of descriptive research. The first one is a reading program to help you understand student literacy levels. The second one, a study of students' classroom performance. And the last one, research to gather data on students' interests and preferences. Descriptive research, it deals with what is, describes and interprets what exists at present. So the researcher is concerned with conditions or relationships that exist, practices that prevail, processes that are going on, influences that are being felt, and trends that are developing. The purpose of descriptive study include the first one is studying the present phenomena, their status and trends, and the second one providing a basis for planning and formulation of policies, and the last one providing a basis for fundamental research. Major steps in descriptive study are the same as that of scientific method. So it is same as scientific method. So there are also two types of methodologies of educational research. There are quantitative and qualitative research methodologies. We will talk about quantitative research methodologies first. So quantitative research is expressed in numbers and graphs. It is used to test or confirm theories and assumptions. This type of research can be used to establish generalizable facts about a topic. Common quantitative methods include experiments, observations recorded as numbers, and surveys with close-ended questions. There are types of quantitative research methodologies. The first one is experimental, and then the non-experimental one, and single case. This is an example of quantitative research methodologies. The title is A Quantitative Study of Course Grades and Retention Comparing Online and Face-to-Face Classes by Vicky A. Kelly from Washburn University and Central Michigan University. You can see on the screen that this research presents data in table form with research figures and numbers. So that's the example of quantitative research methodologies. And we move to qualitative research methodologies. Qualitative research is expressed in words. So it is used to understand concepts, thoughts, or experiences. This type of research enables you to gather in-depth insights on topics that are not well understood. Common qualitative methods include interviews with open-ended questions, observations described in words, and literature reviews that explore concepts and theories. There are some types of qualitative research methodologies, the interactive and non-interactive methodologies. This is the example of qualitative research methodologies. The title is At Risk: Students and Technology Education, a Qualitative Study by Philip L. Cardon. Now you can also see on the screen that this research presents data in the form of a description of the research he did, and there is even an explanation about the research method it used. We move to lesson objectives. So the objectives of these lessons of educational research. Lessons. First one is to list and discuss the 4 functions of educational research. There are basic, applied, evaluation, and action. Second, to present an overview of the various types of educational research. And the last one, to compare and contrast the qualitative and quantitative approaches to research as we did before. The first one is basic research. Basic research or fundamental research contributes to the development of knowledge or theories. So it's develop a new knowledge or theory. Its objectives is to develop and test educational theory and derive generalizations. The selections of the problems is use a wide range of methods, and then highly specific hypotheses are developed. So these functions of educational research. Basic research is use highly specific hypotheses. For example, early work of Piaget of cognitive development with young children. This is the examples of basic research. Then there is applied research. Applied research is socially useful applications of the knowledge generated to social concerns. Applied research takes theories developed by basic research and tests them in real life or applied settings. So applied research is the application of theories on basic research in real life. Supplies data that supports, guides, or revises theories developed by basic researchers. So the data that support, the supplies of data that supports, guides, or revises by basic researchers, and also the development of the theory. Research designed to solve current educational problems, and then done to test theories in the field of to achieve better validity. Then there is evaluation research. So as we know before, basic and applied research are interested in developing theories to address educational problems and testing their theories in real life or applied settings, while evaluation research is interested in making decisions about the quality, effectiveness, or value of educational programs, products, or practices. The focus is on making decisions about effectiveness and not on the development of new knowledge as basic and applied researchers did before. And then there are formative and summative evaluation research. So the formative evaluation consists of monitoring the ongoing progress of a program, products, or practice. And the summative evaluation one is judging the overall impact of a program, product, or practice. The last one is action research. Action research is useful in solving an immediate specific problem. Action research is very useful in solving classroom problems. Its objectives is to find solutions to problems in a specific context, and specific statements of the problem serves as hypothesis. So the hypothesis is served as specific statement of the problem, and the participating teacher identity problems during the teaching learning process. So the teacher should be identity identified problems during the teaching learning process. These are the references that I use in making the PowerPoint and the theory about types and functions of educational research. Actually, there are many references I used before, but this is the main points I thought. Yes. So that's all about types and functions of educational research. Hope you get the point of my explanations. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.